Hey there, welcome to Abundant Source Raw. In this video I wanted to get a little bit into astrology and kind of give you my viewpoints on it and how you can really let astrology help you to evolve in your spiritual consciousness. And so basically uh, the the energies of the planets and all this astral energy, all these things are always shifting constantly. There's always different energies going on at different times, depending on so many different things in astrology. Just where the planets are sort of aligned, and even things like where the moon and the sun are at, you're going to have different astrological energies at that point. And even the earth has its own energy field that is subject to astrological energy and things like that. The earth's energy is always shifting, and so when you are born, basically you are right when you're born, wherever the planets are at and wherever the sun's at and the moon and all that, that is basically, it's like the universe just stamps you with that energy. If you're born at that time, it's almost like a snapshot that the universe gives to you in accordance to where everything is located and how the energy in this plane of your existence is at that time. And so astrology is definitely huge in shaping our personalities. It's not the only thing. The environment that we grew up in and the people that we are subject to also play a big role in our personalities. So some people may see in their chart that they are one way, that they're supposed to be one way or have this certain tendency, but maybe they don't necessarily because they have been brought up in a certain way, and their environment has sort of changed them. Maybe their mother or father had a different viewpoint or way of looking at things, and it was sort of programmed into them at an early age, and now it's kind of overwritten their astral energy. So you're not always, just because you have been sort of stamped by the universe with these certain energies and tendencies, does not mean you'll always keep those, because there are more things that shape our personalities and all that and the way we see things than just our astrology. But nevertheless, astrology is a huge factor in our personality, and if you look at your chart, you'll probably be amazed at the accuracy of a quality natal chart reading, and how aligned it is with your own life, and really shows you a good picture of your personality and your tendencies and all that. But what I really don't want people to think is that their astrology is basically like they're bound to their astrology and they are basically chained to this reality, and that some people will blame circumstances on their astrology and just say, well, I'm this sign and I've got this quality, so it can't really be helped. But it definitely can. You do not have to be a prisoner of your astrological energies, and you can work on sort of overcoming a lot of these things. And I would almost argue that that is somewhat one of the big missions in our life, is to overcome the astrological sort of stamp that we've been given. And all astrological signs are going to have some what we would say are nice qualities, and we're going to have some that we would think are unbeneficial qualities. And so I think it really is a good thing to look at your birth chart and really find out exactly how the astrology affects your own energy and how it kind of shapes your own life, because that way you can have a good starting point to really notice and work on some of these things that are holding you back. Most people, because of their energies and their unconsciousness, how they've grown up, and they just aren't really aware of it, they will do the same things over and over again, and they will perceive everything the same way, and they won't really learn their lessons because they are so influenced, one, by their astrology and also how they've grown up and their belief systems and all that. They are so influenced by these things, and they're unaware that, you know, these are the things influencing them, and, you know, people just are not very conscious about this for the most part. And so if you can look at your astrology and look at your past tendencies and start to notice how you act in certain situations and your, you know, personal tendencies and things like that, then you can really start to work on them. You know, a lot of people, they'll just keep doing the same thing over and over, but then you notice that maybe in your chart it says one thing, like maybe you have a certain tendency to do this, and then you can say, okay, so this is something that's influencing me, and now I can see where I've done this so many times in the past, and now I will try to catch this whenever it happens again, so that way I can just notice it and try to work on not doing it so much. So it's not really necessary to find out about your astrology, but it can be helpful if you notice that you are, or if you just would like to consciously work on yourself and you want to know exactly what energies are influencing you, and you know, what some of your habits could be, and you want to get a bigger picture of that. It can definitely help to look at your chart. But also, we have a lot of great qualities. Everybody has different amazing, you know, influential qualities from astrology that you know, that makes us, some of us perceive things in different ways, and we think a different way, and you know, we have different talents and skills that just come easier to us. And I think that it really is promoting unity, and for us all to come together and say that I've got this skill and you've got this skill that comes so easy to you, and, you know, I've got this different way of looking at this. Let's all come together and put all our energies together and you know, create something beautiful. And I think that is the big lesson right now, where we're at, where the Earth is at in its stage of evolution, and the human consciousness. I believe that that is what we need to be working on, is coming together, and it's unity and unconditional love. I think that is probably the biggest message right now that I can give at this time, is that we really want to come together and complement each other with our different skills, and really notice the things that are holding us back and just catch it. Just being aware of it will help you to overcome it. And because really, you know, we're all one, and these personalities are just basically like illusionary astrological programming, and then we get extra programming from growing up in this simulated environment. And now I think pretty much the whole meaning for our lives at this point is trying to get rid of all the programming and overcome our environment that we grew up in, overcome these astrological negatives, so to speak, that you know, are not benefiting our growth and consciousness. And so we really want to notice these things and just be aware of them, and that's definitely the first step. And so I will leave a link in the description to a website that you can use for your free natal chart, and then you can look it up if you haven't already. And, you know, a lot of people just only know their sun sign. You know, I personally am a Capricorn, and that's all I really knew for, you know, just not until too long ago, when I started looking more into astrology. And so I was just like, I'm a Capricorn and that's it. But no, and it was so weird, because I would read so many things about Capricorn and think, well, that's not really how I am, and I don't feel like I'm that way at all, because you were just looking at your signs, you know, just your sun sign, but you have a moon sign, and you have different ascending and descending signs, and you've got different, I mean, there's tons of things that are influencing your astrology, not just your sun sign. So if you want to get the full picture of your personality in astrology, then you have to do a full birth chart, and look at all the aspects of your personality, look at all the planets and the houses that are influencing you. And it's going to be so much more accurate than just knowing your sun sign, because the sun sign is just kind of your biggest, you know, influencer. It's kind of your overall, you know, what people see of you, and how you interact with the world and all that, but it's not the only thing that influences your personality. And so other than working on the things that are holding you back, you also want to realize what is, you know, what your skills are, and what are the things that you can do based on your energy to benefit yourself and everyone the most. What are you good at, and what are your best traits that you can really start to work on and start to improve, so that way you can help, everybody, if that's what you want to do. I mean, I personally would say that meditation is the best thing you can do to help the entire planet, but we're not all going to be meditating 24/7, 365, so it's definitely good to evolve what we're good at and our personal traits that come easy to us, so that way while we're not in that state of super high conscious vibration, we can also be sharing ourselves and sharing that energy and sharing what we're good at with the world, and we can do it with ease when we know what we've been born with and what's going to benefit yourself and everyone the most. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you thought about it in the comments below, and if you have any other questions about this subject, then just go ahead and leave it, and like it if you enjoyed the content, and I'll talk with you guys in the next video. Thank you so much.